Welcome to the 8th session on moment distribution method. So in the last sessions we have discussed about analysis of non-sway frames. So that means either the frame may be an unsymmetrical non-sway frame or it may be a symmetrical non-sway frame. Okay, so in this session we are going to analyze sway frames. Okay, so in the analysis of sway frames, so let us take a look at the contents. So the definition of sway, why the frame is going to undergo sway, that is causes of sway, and the sign convention to be followed in case of analysis of sway frames, and how to calculate the fixed moments if a frame undergoes sway, and one numerical example. So these contents are followed in today's session. Okay, so first let us take up the definition of sway. So it is defined as the appreciable lateral side sway or sideward movement of top of a vertical member relative to its bottom is called as side sway, or in other words we can say it as lateral drift. So let us consider a frame ABCD. Okay, so wherein the top of the vertical member undergoes a displacement, lateral displacement. Okay, so both the vertical members undergo lateral displacements with respect to its bottom. Okay, so therefore if B moves to B dash and C moves to C dash, okay, so both will have the same value of displacement, so we will designate it as delta. Okay, so the sway or lateral displacement is referred as delta here. Okay, so that is the definition for sway. That means the lateral or sideward movement of top of a vertical member relative to its bottom is called as side sway. So next, why sway occurs in a frame? Okay, so what are the different causes of side sway? So let us have a look into it. So the first cause is if the frame is having an unsymmetrical geometry or outline of a frame. If the frame has a unsymmetrical geometry like this, okay, that means you can clearly visualize. So here the length of the column is different. Okay, the boundary conditions may be same, but the lengths are having different, or the lengths are different. Therefore we can by visualization only we can clearly identify it as a unsymmetrical frame. Okay, so and also we don't have any support at the beam line. Okay, so therefore this is a sway frame. So we can, if the frame has an unsymmetrical geometry or unsymmetrical outline of the frame, then the such frames will undergo sway. Okay, so the next cause, it may be an unsymmetrical loading. Okay, so for example like this. So here the geometry is symmetrical, lengths are same, boundary conditions are same, but it is subjected to an unsymmetrical loading. Okay, so if a symmetrical frame subjected to unsymmetrical loading, then also the frame undergoes sway. Okay, apart from unsymmetrical geometry, if it is subjected to unsymmetrical loading, also the frame will undergo sway. So the third cause is unsymmetrical boundary or end conditions. So here we can have a look. So lengths of the members, vertical members are same. Let us consider the lengths of the vertical members are same, but the boundary conditions are different. If they are having unsymmetrical boundary conditions, so different boundary conditions, if the supports of the columns are having different boundary conditions, the geometry is symmetrical and loading is also symmetrical, but if the supports are different, then it undergoes a sway. Okay, then next condition is unsymmetrical cross section of column members. So that means if we have a symmetrical outline of the frame and if the geometry of the vertical members are different. Suppose the left column is having one eye and the right column is having two eye, then it becomes a sway frame even though boundary conditions are same and outline is same. If the vertical members are having different cross sections, then also the frame is a sway frame. Okay. Next, if the frame is subjected to any horizontal loading, like this. Okay. So here a symmetrical frame, let us consider in this case it may be the outline may be symmetry, boundary conditions may be symmetry, column cross sections are also same. Okay. But if it is subjected to any horizontal loading, then also the frame will undergo sway. Okay. So next, apart from this, it may be a combination of all these. If the frame is subjected to a combination of any of these, then also the frame will undergo sway. Okay. So here you can see here it has an unsymmetrical outline, unsymmetrical boundary conditions, unsymmetrical column cross sections, unsymmetrical loading as well as horizontal loading. Okay. So therefore it may be a combination of one or two, or it may be one, it may satisfy any one of the conditions, or maybe two or three or all the conditions, then also the frame will be subjected to sway. Okay. So if you can remember these causes where frame has a tendency to sway, so then you can decide whether the given frame is a sway frame or a non-sway frame. So in the problem it will not be mentioned that it's a sway frame or it's a non-sway frame. You have to judge on your own that the given problem is a sway frame or a non-sway frame. If you know these conditions where a given frame undergoes sway, then you can judge whether the given problem is a sway frame or a non-sway frame. So these are the causes for side sway. So next, what is the sign convention to be followed in case of a lateral sway? So the first the sign convention is, if the frame has a tendency to sway towards right, then delta is taken as positive. That means if this is a frame ABCD, so if it has a tendency to sway towards right, okay, so then this delta is taken as positive. The value of delta will be positive in that case. Okay. On the other hand, if the frame has a tendency to sway towards left, then delta is taken as negative. So here, so this for the same frame, if this is the frame, if it is having a tendency to sway towards left, then in that cases delta is taken as negative. Okay, so this is the sign convention to be followed in the analysis of sway frames. That means if the frame has a tendency to sway towards right, then delta is positive, and if the frame has a tendency to sway towards left, then delta is negative. Next, let us take a look at how to find the fixed end moments whenever the given frame undergoes a sway. So let us assume a frame which undergoes sway of delta. Let us consider an unsymmetrical outline of the structure. Okay, so let L1 and I1 be the length and moment of inertia for member AB, and L2, I2 be the length and moment of inertia for member CD. Okay, so let us consider that this frame is having a tendency to sway towards right, then the value of delta is positive. Okay, so in that cases, fixed end moment MFAB is calculated as minus 6 EI delta by L square. Both MFAB as well as MFBA is calculated by minus 6 EI delta by L square. So let us substitute the value of I and L. So it will be minus 6 E I1 delta by L1 square. Similarly, let us find it for CD member. MFCD and MFBC is equal to same equation, minus 6 EI delta by L square. So only thing, we have to substitute the value of L and I. So it becomes minus 6e I2 delta by L2 square. Minus 6e I2 delta by L2 square. Okay. So this is the additional thing you have to carry out in case of sway frames. Okay. So next, MFBC. So if you can observe this horizontal member, so it is not subjected to any displacement. Okay. So in case of a continuous beam with sinking support, where the support sinks, we used to add this additional term of minus 6ci delta by L square. So here only vertical members are subjected to displacement, whereas the horizontal member remains horizontal. Okay, B moves to B dash and C moves to C dash. Okay, so but there is no deviation in its line. Okay, so therefore BC is in the horizontal line only. Therefore MFBC and MFCB will be equal to 0. We are not going to take this 6EI delta by L square for horizontal member. So this 6EI delta by L square is considered only for the vertical members. You have to keep it in mind that the minus 6EI delta by L square is calculated only for the vertical members. So that is for the fixed end moments. So next, we will go for a numerical problem on this sway frame. Okay, so let us analyze a portal frame shown in the figure. ABCD is the portal frame subjected to a point load of 40 kilonewton. So the given frame is symmetrical in the outline, that means geometry, as well as boundary conditions, and the column cross sections, both are I only. Okay, so the the frame is symmetrical in its geometry, but it is not symmetrical in loading. It is subjected to an eccentric point load. If the low point load is at the center, then this would have been a non-sway frame. Okay, so but the point load is subjected to an at an eccentricity. Okay, so it is an eccentric point load. Therefore this frame becomes a sway frame. Okay, so we have to analyze this frame for sway. Okay, so for the analysis of sway frames, first we will calculate the distribution factors. Okay, so later we will calculate the fixed end moments, because in the sway analysis or in the analysis of sway frames, we have to carry out the calculations twice, or calculations in two parts. In part A, we have to analyze the given frame for non-sway frames. That means for the applied loading, we have to analyze the frame, and then in part B, we have to analyze the same frame for sway, that is delta. Okay, so after that we have to combine the effects of both and get the final moments. Therefore first we will calculate distribution factors in case of sway frames. Okay, so if you look into it, so we know that distribution factors are calculated for the intermediate joints. So B and C are the intermediate joints and BC is the intermediate span, and the far ends A and D are fixed. Okay, so therefore the relative stiffnesses will be I by L only. Okay, so it is the table is in the usual form. The first column joint, member, relative stiffness, total stiffness, and distribution factor. So let us consider the first joint B, the member as BA. The relative stiffness is I by L, therefore it is 1I by 4, which is equal to 0.25I. And that for BC member, the relative stiffness is also calculated by I by L, which is equal to 2I by 6. The moment of inertia is 2I for the horizontal member, and the length is 6 meter. Therefore relative stiffness is 0.33I. So the total stiffness at joint B is 0.25 plus 0.33I, which will be equal to 0.58I. And the distribution factor for BA is 0.43, and that for BC is 0.57. Next, for joint C, And for CB member, same thing, I by L, which is equal to 2I by 6, and the relative stiffness is 0.33I. And for CD member, I by L, which is equal to 1I by 4, and it will be equal to 0.25I. The total stiffness is 0.58I, and the distribution factor for CB is 0.57, and that for CD is 0.43. Okay, so here, because we have considered a frame symmetrical in its geometry, so we are obtaining symmetrical distribution factors. Okay, so next we will go for the part 1 or part A of the analysis, that is non-sway analysis. That means in this analysis we are going to analyze the frame for the given loading. So MFAB, MFBA, MFBC, MFCD and MFDC is equal to 0, because the vertical members are not subjected to any loading. Therefore, the fixed end moments for AB, BA, CD and DC is 0. Okay. Next, we will calculate it for MFBC. So, which is it is subjected to an eccentric point load. Therefore, it is calculated by minus WAB square by L square, which will be equal to minus 40 into 2 into 4 square by 6 square, that will be equal to minus 35.56 kilonewton meter. Next, MFCB is equal to WBA square by L square, that will be equal to 40 into 4 into 2 square by 6 square, and it will be equal to 17.78 kilonewton meter. So these are the fixed end moments for non-sway analysis. Okay, so next we will distribute the moments. So the first row joints A, B, C and D, and in second row we have members AB, BA and BC at joint B, CB and CD at joint C, and DC at joint D. Next is distribution factor. BA, for BA it is 0.43, for BC 0.57, and for CB 0.57, and that for CD it is 0.43. Okay. Next, now we will write the fixed end moments. MFAB 0, BA 0, BC minus 35.56, CB 17.78, CD 0, and that for DC is also 0. So since end A and D are fixed, so no need to balance the extreme joints. Straight away we can go for balancing the intermediate joints, that is joint B and joint C. So next step is balancing joint B and joint C. So joint B is imbalanced by minus 35.56, therefore balancing moment will be plus 35.56. So 35.56 into 0.43 will be equal to 15.29, and 35.56 into 0.57 will be equal to 20.27. And now at joint C it is imbalanced by 17.78, therefore balancing moment will be minus 17.78. So minus 17.78 into 0.57 will be equal to minus 10.13. Minus 17.78 into 0.43 will be equal to minus 7.64. So as soon as you apply the balancing moments will be carried to the far ends from BA to AB. So half of 15.29 will be equal to 7.645, and from BC to CB half of 20.27 will be equal to 10.135. Next, from CB to BC half of minus 10.13 will be equal to minus 5.065, and from CD to DC minus 7.64, half of which will be equal to minus 3.82. Again, the joints B and C got imbalanced. So the next step is to balance joint B and C. Joint B is imbalanced by minus 5.065. Therefore, balancing moment will be plus 5.065. So 5.065 into 0.43 will be equal to 2.178. 5.065 into 0.57 will be equal to 2.887. So joint C is imbalanced by 10.135. Therefore, balancing moment will be minus 10.135. So minus 10.135 into 0.57 will be equal to minus 5.777. Minus 10.135 into 0.43 will be equal to minus 4.358. So again comes the step of carryover from BA to AB. Half of 2.178 will be equal to 1.089. Next, from BC to CB, half of 2.887 will be equal to 1.443. And from CB to BC, half of minus 5.777 will be equal to minus 2.888. From CD to DC, minus 4.358 will be equal to minus 2.179. Next, balancing of joint B and C. B is imbalanced by minus 2.888. Therefore, balancing moment will be plus 2.888. So, 2.888 into 0.43 will be equal to 1.24, and 2.888 into 0.57 will be equal to 1.646. So, joint C is imbalanced by 1.443. Balancing moment will be minus 1.443. So, minus 1.443 into 0.57 will be equal to minus 0.822, and minus 1.443 into 0.43 will be equal to minus 0.62. Next, go for carrying over from BA to AB. Half of 1.24, 0.62. From BC to CB, half of 1.646 will be equal to 0.823. And from CB to BC, half of minus 0.822 will be equal to minus 0.411. And from CD to DC, half of minus 0.62 will be equal to minus 0.31. Okay, so we will carry the last row to the next slide so that we can proceed with further calculations. So again, balancing of joint B and C has to be carried out. It is joint B is imbalanced by minus 0.411. Therefore, balancing moment will be plus 0.411. So, 0.411 into 0.43 will be equal to 0.176, and 0.411 into 0.57 will be equal to 0.234. Next, joint C is imbalanced by 0.823. Therefore, balancing moment will be minus 0.823. So, minus 0.823 into 0.257 will be equal to minus 0.469, and minus 0.823 into 0.43 will be equal to minus 0.354. Next, the carrying over from BA to AB. Half of 0.176 will be equal to 0.088. From BC to CB, half of 0.234 will be equal to 0.117. From CB to BC, half of minus 0.469 will be equal to minus 0.234, and from CD to DC, half of minus 0.354 will be equal to minus 0.177. Now we will balance it. So joint B is imbalanced by minus 0.234. Therefore, balancing moment will be 0.234. So 0.234 into 0.43 will be equal to 0.1. 0.234 into 0.57 will be equal to 0.1333. Next, 0.117 is the imbalancing moment at C. Therefore, balancing moment will be minus 0.117. So, minus 0.117 into 0.57 will be equal to minus 0.067, and minus 0.117 into 0.43 will be equal to minus 0.05. So, we can stop at this level and go for the calculation of non-sway moments. Don't go take it as final moments because it is the part A. Okay, so we are taking it as non-sway moments. So you add all the distributed moments from the fixed end moments in each column to get the non-sway moments. For member AB, it is 9.44. For BA, 18.98. BC, minus 18.98. CB, 13.03. And for CD, minus 13.02. And for DC, it is minus 6.48. So these are the non-sway moments, okay, using which we will find the sway force. What is the sway force? How much the sway force is acting on the frame. So to calculate the sway force, we have to calculate the reactions for the vertical member. Okay, so first let us consider the vertical member AB along with the end moments. Okay, AB is plus 9.44 and BA is plus 18.98. okay, so let us assume HA in this direction. Okay, Now we will take moment of all the forces about B and equate it to 0. So if you apply it, so HA is inducing anticlockwise moment about B, therefore minus HA into 4 plus 18.98 plus 9.44 equals 0, which implies HA is equal to 7.1 kilonewton. Okay. Next we will consider CD member, other vertical member CD. Okay. So MCD is minus 13.02 and MDC is minus 6.48. So therefore we will assume HD in this direction. Okay. And now let us take moment of all the forces about C. So please make this as C. So moment about C is equal to 0, which gives HD is inducing clockwise moment about C, therefore HD into 4 minus 13.02 minus 6.48, that is equal to 0. So which implies HD is equal to 4.87 kilonewton. Okay. So now let us calculate the sway force. So this is the given frame and these are the horizontal reactions. Okay. So let us apply sigma fx. Okay. So that is HA minus HD. So that is the value of actual sway force. If you apply sigma fx, then you are going to obtain the actual sway force S. Okay. S is equal to HA minus HD. So if you substitute the values of HA and HD, 7.1 minus 4.87, that will be equal to 2.23. So the actual sway force is 2.23 kilonewton. Okay. So now we will go for the next part, that is okay. So because we have obtained the positive value of sway force, so it indicates that the sway force is in this direction. That means the frame has a tendency to sway towards right. Therefore we have to assume delta as positive. Okay. So now we will move for the sway analysis, that is part B as sway analysis. So here, so I have already discussed how to find the fixed end moments in case of sway. So MFBC and MFCB, it is, what is the value of fixed end moment for sway? For horizontal members it will be always equal to 0. Only the vertical members are subjected to 6EI delta by L square. Okay. So now MFAB and MFBA is equal to minus 6EI delta by L square. So now let us substitute I and L1, I and L. So it is minus 6EI1 delta by L1 square, or and minus 6EI delta by 4 square. So the length of the member AB is 4. Okay. And now we will calculate it for that is equal to 6EI delta by 16, minus 6EI delta by 16. So now MFCD and MFDC is equal to same, minus 6EI delta by L square. So which will be equal to same, minus 6EI delta by 4 square. Hence it is minus 6EI delta by 16. Okay. So now if you know the values of delta, we can directly calculate the values of minus 6EI delta by L square. Since we don't know the value of delta, to eliminate this unknown E we can assume, but delta we cannot, since we don't know the value of delta. So to eliminate the value of delta, we will take the ratios of MFBA to MFCD. Okay. So the from top to bottom. Okay. MFBA to MFCD. So MFBA is minus 6EI delta by 16 and CD, that is also minus 6EI delta by 16. So that will be equal to, if you rearrange it, it will be minus 6EI delta by 16 into 16 divided by minus 6EI delta. So we can strike off minus 6EI delta. Okay. So now we can have a ratio of minus 16 by minus 16. So you cannot take, you cannot strike off this negative. Okay. If you strike off negative, it becomes the, that means we have assumed the sway in the opposite direction. If you take if you strike off the negative and take only the positive values, it indicates that the frame has a is swaying towards left side, but actually it is swaying towards right. Therefore we should consider this negative sign. Okay, so we can have the same values of 16, or we can reduce it further and the same ratio. Okay, so for this instance we will maintain the same minus 16. Okay, so therefore MFAB, MFBA, MFCD and MFDC is equal to minus 16 kilonewton meter. So let us, this is an assumed value because we don't know the value of delta. This is an assumption of a fixed end moment. Okay, so we will proceed further with this assumed value of sway fixed end moments. Okay, so now we will distribute this assumed value in the same fashion. Okay, joint for different joints A, B, C, D, and for members A, B, BA, BC, CB, CD and DC. Distribution factors that will remain same, that will not change, 0.43, 0.57, 0.57 and 0.43. So these will not change. Only now we have to take fixed end moment as the what we have calculated in the previous slide, that is for AB minus 16, BA minus 16, BC 0, CB 0 and CD plus minus 16, and then DC is also minus 16. So now we have to distribute and balance these moments. Okay, so balancing of joint B and C, it is imbalanced by minus 16. Both joints are imbalanced by minus 16. Therefore balancing moment will be plus 16. So plus 16 into 0.43, 6.88. So 16 into 0.57, it will be 9.12. Similarly at CB 9.12 and at CD 6.88. So now the carrying over from BA to AB, half of 6.88, 3.44, and from BC to CB, half of 9.12, it is 4.56, and that from CB to BC 4.56, from CD to DC 3.44. Next again balancing, joint B and C are imbalanced by 4.56. Therefore balancing moments will be minus 4.56. So minus 4.56 into 0.43, minus 1.96, minus 4.56 into 0.57, minus 2.6. Similarly for CB minus 2.6, and that for CD minus 1.96. Next carrying over from BA to AB, my half of minus 1.96, minus 0.98. From BC to CB, half of minus 2.6, minus 1.3, and from CB to BC, same minus 1.3, and from CD to DC, minus 0.98. Now balancing of joint B and C, it is imbalanced by minus 1.3. Both are imbalanced by minus 1.3. Therefore we have to balance them by applying plus 1.3. So 1.3 into 0.43, 0.56, 1.3 into 0.57, 0.74, for CB 0.74, and that for CD 0.56. Next again carrying over from BA to AB, half of 0.56, 0.28, from BC to CB, half of 0.74, 0.37, and from CB to BC 0.37, and that from CD to DC 0.28. So we will carry this last row for the next slide. So next balance joint B and C, which are imbalanced by 0.37. Therefore balancing moments will be minus 0.37. So minus 0.37 into distributing factors, minus 0.37 into 0.43, minus 0.159, minus 0.37 into 0.59, minus 0.21. For CB same minus 0.21, and for CD minus 0.159. Now again carrying over from BA to AB, half of minus 0.159, minus 0.079, from BC to CB, half of minus 0.21, minus 0.105, from CB to BC minus 0.105, and from CD to DC minus 0.079. Now balancing of joint B and C. So imbalancing moment is minus 0.105. Therefore balancing moment will be 0.105. So 0.105 into 0.43, that will be equal to 0.045. 0.105 into 0.57, that will be equal to 0.06, and 0.105 into 0.7, same thing, minus 0.06, and for CD 0.045. So now we will summarize the distributed moments from the fixed end moments to get the sway moments. These are the sway moments, okay, assumed sway moments. They are not the final sway moments, they are assumed sway moments. So add all the values in each column from the fixed end moment. So then you will get the assumed sway moments. For AB it is minus 13.34, for BA minus 10.63, for BC plus 10.63, for CB plus 10.63, and for CD minus 10.63, and for DC minus 13.34. So these are the assumed sway moments, okay. So now using these again we will calculate the sway force, okay. So to find the sway force, consider AB member, apply, let us assume this as the direction of HA, and these are the end moments, okay. With the end moments, apply sigma MB is equal to 0, which implies HA. So here HA is inducing clockwise moment, therefore positive. HA into 4 minus, this is anti-clockwise, minus 10.63 and minus 13.34 equals 0, which implies HA is equal to 6 kilonewton. Next we will consider CD member. So again assume HD in this fashion. So these are the end moments in anti-clockwise direction. So take sigma MC is equal to 0. So that implies HD into 4 minus 10.63 minus 13.34, that is equal to 0. Therefore HD is also equal to 6 kilonewton, okay. So now if you apply sigma Fx, okay, so these are the reactive components. When you apply sigma Fx, then sway force is calculated as HA plus HD. So now 6 plus 6, here the S dash, this is the assumed sway force, therefore we are referring it as S dash. So it is 12 kilonewton, okay, S dash is 12 kilonewton. So therefore, but actually how much is the sway force? It is 2.23 kilonewton, okay. So therefore we have to apply a correction factor, okay. So what is the correction factor? It is the ratio of actual sway force S to this assumed sway force S dash. So it is the ratio of S to S dash, which is given by 2.23 divided by 12, which is equal to 0.186. So in this problem it is 0.186. So for all the problems this correction factor will differ, and also this correction factor may differ from person to person, okay. Why? Because the assumed sway forces may differ from one person to another, okay. So therefore it need not be constant for a single problem, it can vary, but ultimately the final moments has to be same for everyone, okay. So this is the correction factor to be applied. So how to apply this correction factor to get the final moments? Okay, so the corrected sway moments are obtained by multiplying this correction factor with the sway moments whatever we have obtained in part B, okay. So let us this is the correction factor of 0.186. So this is the table where the sway moments are entered. So for AB minus 13, for BA minus 10.63, BC and CB are plus 10.63, CD minus 10.63, and for DC minus 13.34. So now we will apply this correction factor and get the corrected sway moments, okay. So 0.186 into minus 13.34 will be equal to minus 2.48. 0.186 into minus 10.63 will be equal to minus 1.98. 0.186 into 10.63 will be equal to plus 1.98. For CB also 1.98. For CD minus 1.98, and for DC minus 2.48, that is 0.186 into minus 13.24. For 13.34 it is minus 2.48. Now we will, for these corrected sway moments, we will add the non-sway moments, so the sway moments or the moments which are obtained in part A, that is non-sway moments, we will add those values here. Okay, for AB we have obtained it as 9.44, for BA 18.98, BC minus 18.98, CB 13.03, CD minus 13.02, and DC minus 6.48. So if you add these two, that will give the final moment. So minus 2.48 plus 9.44 will be 6.96, minus 1.98 plus 18.98 will be equal to 17, plus 1.98 minus 18.98 will be equal to minus 17, 1.98 plus 13.03 will be equal to 15, minus 1.98 minus 13.03 will be equal to minus 15, and minus 2.48 minus 6.48 will be equal to minus 8.96. So these are the final moments. Okay, so using which again we will find the reactions and plot SFT. Okay, so now we will go for support reactions. So consider the horizontal member BC along with the final end moments. Okay, so these are the final end moments. Apply the equilibrium conditions. Sigma Fy equals 0, which implies Rb plus Rc is equal to 40 kilonewton. Take sigma Mb is equal to 0, that implies minus Rc into 6 plus 40 into 2 plus 15 minus 17, that is equal to 0. That gives Rc as 13 kilonewton, and that for Rb it is 27 kilonewton. Okay, next we will consider the AB member, vertical member. Okay, so Rb is acting as the downward force. So let us assume HA in this direction. Apply sigma Fy is equal to 0, which gives Va minus Rb equals 0. Therefore Va equals Rb equals 27 kilonewton. Next, sigma Mb is equal to 0. So minus HA into 4, okay, plus 17 plus 6.96, that is equal to 0, which gives HA as 6 kilonewton. And the CD member, if you consider CD member, this is the direction of HD, and the end moments, apply this equilibrium condition, sigma Fy equals 0. So Vd minus Rc equals 0. So that gives Vd equals Rc as 13 kilonewton. And take moment about C equals 0, that gives HA into 4 minus 15 minus 8.96, that is equal to 0. That gives HD as 6 kilonewton. Okay, so if you apply sigma H for the entire frame, so HA minus HD, that will be 0. Okay, so now to draw the shear force diagram, let us consider the base structure and the elements or the members with the reactive components. Okay, so draw the basic structure without the support reactions and loading. This is the baseline. Okay, so first let us draw it for the horizontal member. Shear force to the left of B is 0, shear force to the right of B is plus 27, so mark it above the baseline for 27 kilonewton. And if you take this as point E, shear force to the left of E is, we don't have any forces between right of B to left of E, therefore it will be constant till that level. And shear force to the right of E, we have a downward force of 40 kilonewton, therefore 27 minus 40, that will be equal to minus 13. Okay, so it will be equal to minus 13. So this is the shear force to the right of E. Next, shear force to the left of C. We don't have any forces in between right of E to left of C, therefore shear force will be constant. And then shear force to the right of C, we have an upward force of 13 kilonewton. So minus 13 plus 13, it will be 0. Okay, so now we will draw it for the vertical members. So as we have discussed in the previous sessions how to draw the shear forces for the vertical members, let us consider a force system which is in equilibrium. So we have assumed plus 6 and minus 6, so that will be 0, the summation will be 0. Okay, so now let us draw it for AB member. So this 6 and the HA, so these two forces are inducing anti-clockwise moment. Okay, so anti-clockwise couple, therefore the shear force is negative. It is inducing anti-clockwise couple, therefore negative shear force of 6 kilonewton is acting on AB member. Okay, so next, if you consider this 6 kilonewton and the HD, so these two forces, equal, opposite and parallel forces, they are constituting clockwise couple. Okay, so these two are constituting clockwise couple, therefore it causes a positive shear force on CD member, therefore draw it to the right side of the member. So these are the positive shear forces and these are the negative shear forces. This is the shear force diagram for the given frame. So next we will plot bending moment diagram and elastic curve. To draw the bending moment diagram, consider the support moments along with the loading. Okay, so use the thumb rules. This is the basic frame. Okay, use the thumb rules for horizontal member. So this 17, the direction of thumb is moving in the upward direction, so mark it above the baseline for 17 kilonewton meter. And at C, again the thumb is moving in the upward direction, so mark it above the baseline for 15 kilonewton meter, and then you join these 2 points. Okay, so this is the support moment diagram for horizontal member. So next we will draw it for vertical member. So it is here at end A, the thumb is moving towards the right side of the end A, so therefore mark it towards right side of end A. Next at B, the thumb is moving towards left side of end B, so outwards. Okay, so therefore mark it towards left side of end B for 17 kilonewton meter. Okay, now you join these 2 points. Okay, this is the support moment diagram for AB member. Similarly, we will draw it for CD member. So here the thumb is moving towards left side of end D, so mark it towards left side of end D. Okay, for 8.96. And then here at C, the thumb is moving towards right side of end C, therefore mark it towards right side of end C for 15 kilonewton meter. Now you join these 2 points. So this is a support moment diagram for CD member. So this completes the support moment diagram for the entire frame. Now we have to superimpose with the free bending moment diagram. So AB and CD are not subjected to any loading, therefore there will not be any free bending moment diagram on the vertical members. Only BC is subjected to an eccentric point load, therefore BC member will have an triangle shape bending moment diagram, free bending moment diagram, whose highest ordinate is under the point load only, which is equal to WAB by L, where W is the 40 kilonewton, A is 2 meter and B is 4 meter. So if you substitute it, it will be 53.33 kilonewton meter. Okay, so this is the bending moment diagram. Okay, and now let us draw the elastic curve. Okay, so we know that the shear force is acting from left to right, that means the frame has a tendency to sway towards right. Therefore let us draw the deflected shape or the elastic curve like this. We have a lateral displacement towards right. Okay, so this is the variation of elastic curve. Okay, so this is for today's session. Okay, so in case of sway frames, you have to analyze the given frame twice, once for non-sway analysis, that is for the applied moments, okay, applied loads, and again another time for the sway, that is delta. Okay, you have to assume the rate, you have to we don't know the value of delta, therefore to eliminate the delta we will take the ratio of fixed end moments of MFBA to MFCD, so that delta is eliminated. Okay, so those are the assumed fixed end moments using which we will calculate the sway moments. Okay, again calculate the sway force, take the ratios of S to S dash, which is the correction factor, apply it to the sway moments and obtain the corrected sway moments, and you add the non-sway moments and corrected sway moments to get the final sway moments. Okay, final moments. Okay, so these are using those final moments you are going to calculate the reactions and plot SFD and bending moment diagram. Okay, so that's it for today's session. Thank you.